Hello. Today we're going to take a look at this question that I found in one of my university labs, and you may also find this or something similar to this in advanced functions in high school. So, we have the following function given here. Which statement is true? So A, there is a C in the interval -4, 30 inclusive such that f at C is equal to 0. B, f at 0 is equal to 0. C, f at x is greater than 0 for all x in the interval. D, f at x is less than 0 for all x in the interval. E, all of the above. Or F, none of the above. So we're going to solve this question without a graphing calculator or any calculator at all. So if you'd like to solve this question by yourself, you can do that. But otherwise, you can pause the video. Otherwise, you can keep going, and I'm just going to jump straight into the answer. So right off the bat, we can conclude E is false. Why? Because when we take a look at C and D, we have the same exact interval. And C is saying f at x is greater than 0 for all x for the entire interval, and D is saying the opposite, it's less than 0 for all x. How can the function be less than and greater than 0 for the entire interval? That can't happen, therefore all of the above is wrong. So, now we have B, so we can verify this by just subbing in 0 into the function. So we get f at 0 equals, so 0 to 23 is 0. And then we have plus 20 times 0, that's obviously 0. And then we have minus 6. Therefore, we have f at 0 is equal to minus 6. And that is not equal to 0, therefore B is false. Now, we can also conclude that f is false. Why? Because we have A, C, and D. We have the exact same interval. And C is saying it must be greater than 0 or above the x-axis, and D is saying it must be less than 0 or below the x-axis, and A is saying, what this is basically saying is either it crosses the x-axis somewhere in this interval, or it's just a straight line all the way spanning the entire interval. So, how do we verify which one of these is correct? So we can sub in f at -4, sorry. But wait a minute, I told you not to use a calculator, so how are we going to sub this in? Well, we can just use some logic to determine, is this going to be a positive or a negative value? So we have a negative number inside x to the 23, so we have -4 raised to 23, which is an odd exponent. When we have a negative number raised to an odd exponent, we get a negative number. And then we have plus 20 times -4, so that makes a negative number. And then we have -6. Therefore, f at -4 must be a negative number. Well, that already tells me that C is wrong. Now let's sub in 30. So when I sub in 30, 30 to the 23 is some gigantic, huge positive number. Then we have plus 20 times 30. That's another positive number, smaller than the first one. And then -6. So we can use some logic. I can guarantee you that 20 times 30 is greater than -6, and so is 30 to the 23. Therefore, we can conclude with logic that f at 30 is a positive number. That makes D false, and it also means that this function is continuous, and it also means that somewhere in this interval, the function crosses the x-axis, which means there is a 0 somewhere in here, which is correct. So let's say after this you memorize the function after the test and you want to graph it to verify. You can plug it into Desmos, the exact same function, and look, it's negative for -4 and positive for 30, but somewhere over here it crosses the x-axis. That somewhere has to be around 0.3. So, I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.